My name is Toni Okamoto, and I'm from Sacramento, California.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Herstory TV and the Herstory podcast. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Wellington, New Zealand. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating lady coming to us all the way from the United States. Welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Hi, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the good work that you're doing. My name is Toni Okamoto, and I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm 34 years old, and I started down my journey of wellness around 16 years old. And up until then, which is also part of my backstory, I had been living with my grandparents first. My dad was only 19 years old when I was born and didn't have education, didn't have resources to raise a baby. So he went to the military, and I was raised by my grandparents while he sent home his checks to me. And I had full-time care. And also I had people who really cared about food. I had my grandpa, who was a Japanese farmer. He was part of the Japanese growers in California who, before they were interned during World War II, grew a lot of food. And then he came back, served in the army, and continued growing. And my grandma, she's full Mexican and loved cooking from scratch. So my grandpa grew his own food. My grandma cooked it from scratch. And I just had this very intimate relationship with fresh food. Then fast forward, my dad comes out of the Navy, and I live the bachelor life with him. We are all about canned beans, hot dogs, Chinese food, frozen pastas, and we just totally live the bachelor life together. And I just didn't know my connection anymore with food. Enough time had gone by, 12 years old to 16 years old. I pick up the fast food habit and I become a track runner. And in my track days, I also ate a lot of Taco Bell. I would eat Taco Bell every day, and then I would come back to school and run as fast as I could and not understand why I was feeling really sick. And my concerned coach said, well, maybe you should cut back on your Taco Bell. And I didn't make the connection. I thought food tastes good, food fuels my belly, and not really make the connection that what I was putting in was not fueling my belly, was fueling my whole body. And I was getting sick to my stomach. I made his suggestion, and he suggested to go even further and cut out red meat, stop eating so many hamburgers, beef tacos, spaghetti and meatballs. And that was a huge change. My dad was remarried by that time. They could not believe how they ended up cursed with some hippie daughter who wouldn't eat red meat. They were like, what? How could you? How did we raise this hippie daughter? And so I got some pushback from my family, but that was really the genesis of what was to become for the rest of my life, and to begin this mission of sharing wellness, plant-based living. And from there, I got really, really into it. It's slowly and gradually I adopted a healthier lifestyle, and I became a vegan for other reasons. I cared about the environment. I cared about animals. I started working at a farm where I got to help animals recover from illness and from overbreeding. And that connection further pushed me into the world of plant-based living. But what really got me down my career path was I kept on hearing from so many people, many of whom were sick, that it's too expensive to be healthy. You can go to Walmart, you can go to the Dollar Tree, you can get some snacks or mac and cheese in a box for $1, Top Ramen, those canned beans I was talking about with hot dogs, that's all cheap food. And so people who I know and love were suffering. My grandpa had a triple bypass surgery and it claimed his life. He had complications. And my aunt had type 2 diabetes. She had her toe amputated, then her foot, and then she died. My 40-year-old uncle had a heart attack. And it really hurt to know that people I love were suffering, and I felt like they could make a lifestyle change that could have saved them. And so I started compiling my family's recipes, making sure that they were with accessible ingredients, that they were culturally appropriate. As I mentioned, I'm Japanese and Mexican. My family is more culturally Mexican and love their Mexican food. So I started putting our family recipes that they would cook that they could buy ingredients where they shopped already. And from there it grew. And I've been now doing this since 2012, and it's my full-time job. I have a team of people helping me create resources, and I couldn't imagine a different life.
Wow. Where do I start to unpack this amazing story? Well, first of all, you are a cocktail of nations, and you certainly have tapped into all of those aspects and part of yourself to create this amazing way of living and helping other people live healthy. Now, if you were to go back to that younger self, the young woman who wasn't eating well, wasn't feeling good, you knew something was wrong, and have a conversation with her based on how you're living your life and what you've learned, what 3 nuggets of wisdom would you give her?
I would say have confidence in what you feel is right. Sometimes when you make a lifestyle change, not everyone is on board. As I mentioned, my family for a long time, 10 years, were not on board with my lifestyle change. And having a strong reason of why you believe it is important to make that lifestyle switch, and to just have so much faith in that, will help you overcome all of the negatives that you'll hear, whether they're the small jokes while you're eating a vegetarian meal instead of the beefy meal that someone's eating, and you get some snarky comment at the table. All of that will just roll off you because you just feel so confident in your decision. So 1, having confidence. 2, going at a pace that's sustainable for you. I know that for me, I tried to just do it all in one day. Tomorrow, I'm vegan. That's it. And it didn't work for me. I kept on falling into old habits. And instead, I said, you know what? I'm just going to stop drinking cow's milk. And from there, I stopped drinking cow's milk. I went to soy milk, almond milk, and it didn't have to be all or nothing. It can be little baby steps, healthier living every day, choosing the healthy option for dinner that day. And even though I may have eaten Taco Bell at lunch, my dinner was healthy, and that's okay. Yes. So just setting yourself up for success, progress over perfection, that is the key for a long-term lifestyle change. And then
so what I'm hearing is you don't have to just go cold turkey. You can actually phase yourself out of your current eating pattern until you get used to the new one. So you don't have to starve yourself of that burger. Just don't eat burgers every single day, correct?
That is so correct. And then the third piece of advice is that I know for me, when I made a lifestyle change and I began to reap the benefits, I wanted to evangelize that. I wanted to tell everybody, and I wanted everybody to do it with me. Come on, you, hey, you over there. Hey, you over there. I really just wanted to share, and not everybody's ready to take in that. So to just be comfortable with people where they are, even if it's not where you want them to be, and to still eat with people and love them just the same. They'll come around if you are kind and you are a good model for whatever your lifestyle is. People will come around. My parents, now they're telling people, oh, my daughter's vegan. She's been vegan for a long time. And I'm like, what? Remember when you did not like when I was? But now they're proud of me, and they know that I've stuck it out. And so it took over a decade, but they came around. And so if you're in it for the long run, you're good.
Yeah, I do like that, because sometimes we try and impose our views, our ideas on other people, and we mean well doing it. But at the end of the day, you end up alienating people as well, because they just can't see themselves in that. What I found personally is just being the example of what's possible. I've had friends of mine who saw me a few years ago, just before I had heart failure, overweight. I looked terrible. I was like at the worst point in my life, health-wise. And 3 years later, with a change of diet and lifestyle, I actually look 15, 20 years younger than I did before. So sometimes you just have to be the example of what's possible, right?
That is very right. And that's very powerful that you share that story.
Yeah, I love that. So going forward, let's now teleport you into your future.
Okay.
And we're going to have a conversation with the older you now. Now, you've talked about the family you've lost. My condolences with losing your family members, your grandfather, to these health issues. You are probably going to live to 120, 130 based on how you're living your life right now. If you were to have a conversation with the future you at the age of 120, and you're sitting in your rocking chair, looking back at your life, what would you say to her based on how you're living your life right now?
I would say it's okay to, it's funny because it's the same advice. It's okay to not be perfect. Sometimes we strive for perfection and we get really into this mindset that in order to call myself, we'll say a vegan or whatever it is you call yourself, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this. But it's okay if you're imperfect, and you don't have to beat yourself up. I have gone through many stages now where I have really beat myself up for things I didn't even know I was doing that were bad. But just learning and doing better and trying hard, that's enough.
That's awesome. Now, how can people get hold of you? Are you coaching people? Are you mentoring? Are you helping people online? How can people get access to you?
I am most active on Instagram. If anyone is interested in plant-based living, I'm at Plant Based on a Budget, and I have recipes being posted every day. And I have a lot of free content online. I have a free Facebook group for support, and there people can share any struggles that they're having. Maybe they have a question, their work caters meat food every day and they really rely on that, and I'm there to just say that's okay. So if someone needs encouragement, maybe they don't have it at home, maybe their honey is not interested in the change, I'll be their support.
That is awesome. And you're so right. Sometimes you just have to surround yourself with the people that can prop you up, who are thinking and doing the same thing. It becomes easier when you're in that world. And one little tip that I have to people who are trying to eat healthy and are struggling. So my husband is from Poland, and we go to the farmer's market every Saturday. And this man actually just blows me away. He hates wasting food. And I'm from Africa, grew up very, very poor, same thing. And sometimes what we do is we have the money, but if you go to the farmer's market, you will be surprised at how many pieces of vegetable or fruit just fall on the ground that you can wash and eat and not have to pay. We did it as an experiment one day. We came back with almost 5 kgs of fruit and vegetable that are just rolled down on the ground. Nobody's picking it up. So if you're struggling financially, go to a farmer's market. You will be surprised at what you will find on the ground that can be rewashed and used and is fresh produce. Thank you so much for coming to remind us, Toni, because for me, recovering from heart failure, I got to realize that my health was my wealth. Didn't matter how much money I had, unless I was healthy, I couldn't enjoy that money. So focus on your health, people. You've got a coach, you've got somebody who'll give you those free recipes, advice, support. You can't reverse it, especially if you let yourself go. And especially now with COVID, we're inactive, we're at home. You have to be very conscious of what you eat. You're going to say something, Toni?
I was just going to say, thank you so much for being a positive light. You were mentioning earlier that it's so important to surround yourself with positive people, and especially coming out of this pandemic, and it's been a dark time. And so to surround yourself, being here, listening to you is such a great resource to have. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. I think it's one woman at a time, one story at a time that we change the world. And your story is so empowering. I'm looking to connect with more people who are awake and conscious. What I've done since the pandemic, I've actually lost about almost 10 kilos. My daughter is having her first baby. So my first grandson is on his way.
Congratulations.
And I was saying to her the other day that your son has come to save my life, because what I do now, I have his little ultrasound picture on my fridge. He's in my exercise room. He's in the bathroom when I brush my teeth. And when I wake up every day, I'm telling myself, I want to be a healthy grandmother. I've got to lose this weight. I want to be there for my grandchildren. And I love this little guy, and I haven't even met him yet. And I keep thinking, what will it be like when I finally hold him in my arms? Oh, so for those of you who are grandmothers, remember that the next generation needs you. Your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren need you healthy and vibrant. And it's your responsibility to work on yourself, to work on your body, so that you can be there for the next generation. Thank you, Toni. So excited to have you in our tribe. And have a fantastic day, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for tuning in. Come back again tomorrow when I interview yet another amazing woman from a different part of the world. Thank you so much for being here today. Bye for now. Thank you, Toni.
Hi, thank you.